biggest thing for the Suns is that the Spurs no longer have DeAndre Ayton, killer Drew Eubanks, and they laughed, but I was serious. Shout out to Drew Eubanks, miss that guy. But yeah, this is going to be a big game for this young Spurs team. We're going to get the official show here started in just 1 second. Thank you, all of you, for hanging in, for joining us, for spending part of your evening. I know it's just goosebumps and fingernail biting before tip-off of a win-or-go-home game. Really, regardless of how you feel about how this is going to go. We put a poll yesterday, and it was basically a coin flip of Spurs fans either want this team to get a play-in berth, or a playoff berth rather, or get ninth best lottery odds. Neither is necessarily a bad thing. Both could probably help them, grow in their own way. So it's going to be fun to see what happens here. And this game, regardless of what happens in this one, it's going to be totally fine for the Spurs lottery odds. They can win this game and still get ninth best lottery odds if they lose the next game to the Clippers. So we're going to get started in just 1 second here. But yeah, guys, definitely send in your questions. It's been really fun talking to you guys. Really interesting responses to what is the best part of the season, what's the most surprising, and what you're hoping for whatever this postseason run is. That's an interesting question, why they've been better on the road instead of home. I think they had a lot of tough games early in the season. I'd be interested to see the home and road splits on that. It's been interesting, though. The Spurs have played well on the road, and that'll suit them in this game for sure, given that they're in hostile territory in New Orleans at the Smoothie King Arena or Center. Shout out to the Smoothie King Center. But yeah, it's going to be a battle for sure. And the Spurs, I think, the style of attacking play travels well. The defense hasn't been great all year. Usually it's defense that travels. But yeah, no, I that's something I want to do a deep dive on in the offseason, to be honest. Take a look at, why the team did, they were close to 500 on the road this year. So we'll see if they can get one more road win here. And it'll certainly be the biggest game of the season for the Spurs. Pop kind of downplaying that before the game. He said winning any NBA game is hard and fun. And I think that pretty much sums up the approach to the rest of the way here for San Antonio. Whatever happens. It's going to be hard for it to be a bad outcome for this organization, one way or the other. So, yeah, really, really excited to watch this game. We're going to probably get tipped off here. They say 8:30 tip-off is probably going to be, closer to 8:40. We'll see on that. But yeah, guys, this is going to be fun. This is what this team has been playing for all year. They have had this as a goal, and overperformed quite a bit. So we've got a whole bunch more on the season in review on Kens5.com. Me and Jeffrey Garcia talked about it today on the Big Fun Pod. And yeah, no, it's been fun being on the ride with you guys. This is a fun team to watch, and I have enjoyed being part of that with all of you. So we are here going right now. Jay, who is the X factor for the Pelicans tonight? I'm glad you asked that question. First, let me just say welcome to all of the viewers on our other platforms. My name is Tom Petrini, and this is a super special live pregame edition of the Big Fun Pod from Kens 5, the official TV station of the San Antonio Spurs. And we're talking about postseason basketball. Spurs are in New Orleans tonight for a win-or-go-home game, and they are going to have a tough test against a pretty good Pelicans team, even without Zion Williamson. So Zion's not playing. Who on the Pelicans is a key player to watch out for? obviously Brandon Ingram, we don't need to put him into this category because he's obvious, right? Brandon Ingram is going to be their star player. He has gotten buckets in a variety of ways all season long. Really good development year for him, continuing development. Hitting mid-range shots, which is always at a premium in the playoffs. Dangerous from three, obviously dangerous on the move at the rim. He's fantastic. We all know this. But as far as more sleeper players go on this team, there's a guy in this game who's going to be very important. He wears number 5. He's very long and rangy on the defensive end of the floor. He's either going to pick your pocket or jump a passing lane. And that guy's name is Herb Jones, and he's probably going to spend a lot of time guarding DeJounte Murray. He may make an all-defensive team this year. He's been that good. The Pelicans announcers love yelling, "Not on Herb," and I love that. He plays really tough defense. I think you can really appreciate that as a Spurs fan, as a basketball fan. He's fun to watch on that end of the floor. It's going to be less fun to watch when he's guarding the all-star point guard who you're hoping is going to generate most of the offense for the Spurs team tonight. So that's one matchup that I'm really keeping a close eye on, is Herb Jones on DeJounte Murray probably. Another guy to look out for is Jonas Valanciunas. Spurs fans will remember that in the last year's play-in game, when he was a member of the Memphis Grizzlies, he put up 23 and 23. Maybe you didn't remember that. Maybe I'm opening an old wound that you had long ago closed. But yes, he did that, and he is a nightly double-double threat. This guy's really, really good. He can stretch the floor. He can score inside. He's got post-up game. He's got jump shots. He's real good. It's not the kind of, obviously there are some guys where with Jakob Poeltl it's like, please stay out of foul trouble, and, the Jokic's, the Embiid's of the world. But Valanciunas obviously not on that tier as a player, but in terms of giving this team trouble, he's been hard to handle. He's put up double-doubles in a lot of these games. And one more guy I'm looking at, obviously, is C.J. McCollum, acquired by the Pelicans. Oh, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. But acquired by the Pelicans at the trade deadline. And this was when they basically said, we're going to go for it, right? They decided personnel-wise they were going to go for this play-in tournament. And he's been really important for them. He's scoring the ball really well. This game may very well come down to how well they contain C.J. McCollum's scoring if all other things are equal in this game. I'm going to take a sip break, and then we'll talk about keys to victory. Wonderful. All right. So, if the Spurs want to survive and advance to a game in Los Angeles against the Clippers, these are 3 things that I'm keeping an eye on. We're going to start with things that the Spurs would love to do, and would love to at least keep close. And that's the rebounding battle and the three-point battle. Those 2 things are going to be important. This team has shot more three-point shots since the All-Star break. Josh Richardson's been a big part of that. Kelvin Johnson has been launching them. He's up to almost 8 attempts per game in the last couple months, and hitting around 40% on the season. So, if the Spurs can outperform expectations from three-point range, or at least keep that close, it's going to be very, very good for them. Oh, thank you very much, Vincent. Appreciate you. The rebounding, again, is going to be, that's Valanciunas' territory, right? He's important in there, and it's going to be tough. The biggest thing that the Spurs need to do to win this game is win the battle in the paint. The Spurs are 3-1 against the Pelicans this year. Every game has been won by the team who has scored more points in the paint. That means both ends. Protecting the rim. It means not letting these guys get to, easy shots, easy floaters, containing what they do, and at the same time playing to the Spurs' strengths offensively, getting downhill, attacking the bucket. that's going to be, I think, the biggest decider on who wins this basketball game. I saw somebody ask in the comments about an X factor for the Spurs. One guy that I'm keeping an eye on, especially because his matchup is interesting defensively, is Kelvin Johnson, right? He's had 9 straight games with 20 or more points, really shooting the ball well, and getting to a higher level where he's more consistently, a reliable wing option, second option next to DeJounte Murray on the wing. So he's going to be super duper important for San Antonio in this game. And he's matched up with Jackson Hayes, who's taller, bigger, skinnier. And it's going to be an interesting matchup if Kelvin gets him in space. It's going to be that's something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on out of the gate throughout the game. Will the Spurs be able to get these guys in foul trouble? Will they be able to force turnovers and get out in transition? Those are ways that the Spurs traditionally throughout this season have been able to build advantages in games, is when they crank it up on defense a little bit and get moving. So I think that all of those things together, it's going to be a fascinating basketball game. I'm so excited to watch it. Greg Popovich, before the game, said, a big stage for the continued development of the guys, while he downplayed, the stakes of it all, and said he was excited as hell to watch them go out and perform. I think that's a fun and good way to look at it. I'm excited. I know a lot of you guys are excited. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'd be happy to get to them here at the end. We've still got a couple minutes left in this Hawks game. And a couple minutes left till we get tipped here for the Spurs. But throughout the game, we're going to be covering the game on Kens5.com. There's going to be, I'll tweet out a link, you'll see it. Live blog, live highlights, all of that. And we'll come back here for post-game, however it goes. Win or loss, happy, sad, we'll talk about it. It's been a lot of fun talking to you guys. I saw a question about Lonnie's back. He's cleared to play. He's in this game. He said recently that it's something that's probably not going to be right until, he has the time to take off and, rest it. And that's just sort of how it goes. After 82 games, a lot of guys are in similar positions with different little things. So he's going to play tonight. We'll see how effective he is. Certainly, once he tweaked it again in one of those last games, it was like, okay, let's just get ready for the play, and that's the one that matters. He's been important for this team. He's another one of the guys who, since the All-Star break, has kind of shown a different level to his game. And he's going to be a restricted free agent this summer, so that's going to be a whole other thing. Has he earned enough money that somebody would, pay him more than the Spurs would be willing to match in the summer? We'll see. I don't personally think so. My crystal ball says that both Lonnie Walker and Greg Popovich will be back in San Antonio next year. As far as the rotation, I'm thinking 9, maybe 10 guys. And that'll be like the rotation that we've seen mainly, the starting lineup of DeJounte Murray, Josh Primo, Devin Vassell, Kelvin Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, and then coming off the bench will be Trey Jones, Lonnie Walker, Josh Richardson, Zach Collins, and then that's where it's like, who else is going in for what, right? Maybe we'll see some Keita Bates-Diop. Maybe we'll see some Jock Landale if the Pelicans stick with 2 bigs and the Spurs are having trouble matching up. We're going to see maybe some different things. It depends what's working and what's not. I think we're going to see heavy Josh Richardson minutes in this game, and I think that's going to be a key too for San Antonio. So definitely, biggest game of the season. It all comes down to this: win or go home. And the guys are pumped for it, right? Every one of these guys is excited to be here, excited to be a part of this. even if you're hoping that, they play real hard and just do enough to hang on to that lottery pick, enjoy this night. Have fun. Watch these guys have fun. Watch them compete. Watch them fight as they have fought all year. That's probably been the most consistent thing about them all season, is that, regardless of if they're winning or losing, they're fighting. And the biggest difference is they started the season not really knowing how to win games, making too many mistakes, still learning how to play together. They're getting more cohesive, more comfortable. And it's going to be a really cool test tonight to see how they respond on the road in, functionally a Game 7. Game 1 and Game 7 at the same time. It's a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. I like it. I'm having fun. I don't know about you guys. But this is going to just about wrap it up for me here. Thank you so much for joining. Really love talking to you guys. And, yeah, we'll see. I feel you, Diego. I think everybody's nervous. I think everybody who's got a vested interest in this game, maybe this is the first time in a while you felt those little pins and needles, right? But I think, however it turns out, like I said, it's going to be good for this team. So thank you very much for joining us on a very special episode of the Big Fun Pod pregame before the play-in tournament. My name is Tom Petrini for Ken's 5, the official TV station of the San Antonio Spurs. We'll see how it goes. I'll be here when it's over. Let's talk about it then. Thank you very much, and go Spurs go.